Hello, this is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. I am your host of this motivational and inspirational podcast, and I'm going to continue with the series of the tribes of Israel. Now, the second son that was born to Jacob, as we know as Israel, is Simeon. Simeon's name means the old man who recognized Jesus as the Messiah. That is one aspect, but also obedient, listening, a little hyena. Now, Simeon was the second born of Jacob and Leah. As you know, Leah was the one that was more fertile, where her sister Rachel was barren at the time when she was giving birth to these children. Now, as we moved on, and I was reading and trying to get a comprehension of who Simeon was, we do know that Simeon had a tribe as well, a tribe that was named after him and all of his descendants that was in that tribe. And I was also understanding in the Hebrew terms, the meaning of his name, God heard Leah's suffering. He heard her cry because she was in a lot of pain, because she was wanting Jacob to love her as much as he loved Rachel. And she knew that he didn't, but she felt that giving birth to these children to Jacob would cause him to love her more than he did at Rachel. But it doesn't matter how much we try to force someone to love us, their heart is where their heart is going to be. We've all heard the saying, wherever your heart is, that's where you will be. And that's so true. You can't force anyone to love you. But in this case, she thought that giving birth to these boys and a daughter, that it would cause him to love her more, and he did not. But I was reading through and I was trying to get a better understanding of Simeon. And I did not realize that Simeon had disappointed Jacob along with Levi, his brother. Their sister was violated, Dinah. She was violated. They defiled her. And so they decided that they was going to go and kill up these individuals and their families and just kill up a whole tribe of people because their sister was defiled. And I do understand that brothers can get very protective of their sisters. And in this case, they did. And they went in and they wreaked havoc. Well, Jacob was a little upset with Simeon and Levi. And he expressed to them, ye have troubled me to make me stink among the inhabitants of this land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me. And I shall be destroyed, I and my house. In other words, they brought around a very harsh reality that although I'm sure that Jacob understood the reasons why they did it, he was not approved or in approval of what they did, because he went there for peace, to inhabit and to grow old in peace. He didn't want his boys going out causing a ruckus. And we all have lived in that time frame at some point in time in our lives where a family member can be disruptive and bring down a snare, so to speak, upon the whole family. One person can just mess up a whole family dynamics. And with their negativity or with their hatred in their hearts or their vengeance that they have purpose in their minds and in their spirits, it can bring about the anguish towards the whole family, and they not realize what they done. They are bringing a vengeance to one person, but the whole land can bring about attack against his family. And the similarities are so great in today's time because one person can bring about a stink to the whole group. Have you ever gone out with someone in public? And I think I've used this example before, where you go out in public, and let's just say it's a group of 5 of you, the fellas, going out, just shooting the breeze, going to watch a football game at the bar, and have something to eat, chit chat, catch up on the week, telling each other about what's going on in their world. And there's that one person in that group that can ruin the whole dynamics of that group. Either they're loud, boisterous, belligerent. They could be drunk, they may not be drunk. They constantly hitting on the women in the place, and they're just very disrespectful. And let's just say the bar owner decides to tell them, you guys can't come back here anymore. Instead of putting out the one, they put out the whole group. Well, this is how Jacob was feeling at the time when Simeon and Levi did these things, because they were trying to validate what had happened to their sister. And when they did that, it caused a great disturbance to Jacob and to his household. And this is, like I said, very true in today's time, because we don't know the effects of 1 or 2 people, what can happen to a whole family dynamics if they just hold their peace and talk to their father about it. Because it's one thing about Jacob, Israel, that I believe that he would have went to the Lord about it, and God could have did far greater worse to these individuals that defiled their sister than Levi and Simeon had done in this case. And we don't want to go to God. We want vengeance now. And that is where what my dad would always say, we're microwave kids. We're the microwavable generation. We want things done right now. And that right now is what get us in trouble. That right now is what calls us to be very emotional, but it can be very detrimental to our lives because we want things to happen right now. We don't want things to happen in God's timing. I could think of a lot of things that I wish that I could just take control of right now and just be done with it. But God has His time and purpose in everything that He does. And when we take matters into our own hands, we don't know the repercussions that can come from these things. My mom used to always tell us there are consequences and repercussions for the things that we do. And it's true. It is so very, very true that we can wreck our own lives, or we can destroy our family's lives just in what we do, especially if we don't have good judgment. And the impact is so great that we sometimes don't want to even associate ourselves with that. That in our mindset, we think we did the right thing. But unfortunately, the thing that we did was more detrimental to what is going to happen now versus what you did just a few minutes ago. Now, Simeon, according to the scriptures, he was well over 200 years old when he passed away, according to Luke. Now, what I'm finding interesting is that Simeon was also mentioned in the New Testament, where he had collaborated or spoke with Joseph and Mary. I have to do a little bit more studying to know if this was the same Simeon, because it's a possibility. It is a great possibility. But I want to make sure that this is the case in this matter. Now, as far as the tribe of Simeon, they were absorbed by Judah. They were taken control of or absorbed by the Judah, and to be relocated, they were relocated in the north after the death of King Solomon. And, so I would have to ask, did Simeon walk away? Or did he relocate, hide his face, went someplace else? We don't know really until God pieces all the puzzle pieces together. We can only just work with what we have. But today's tribe of Israel is Simeon. And Simeon, unfortunately, did disgrace his father in a little way, in ways that was not approval, but not like his older brother, who he defiled Jacob's wife. So, we have to be really careful about what we do and how we live our lives, because the impact is so great. It's not just us. And this is where we have to really take stock in. It's not just us that is going to be affected. It's everybody. If a person commits suicide, it's not just the person that did the committing of suicide. It's everybody that you left behind with questions. Why did you do that? Why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you tell me that you was having problems? The impact is so great. So when we think about doing something, think about the people that you're going to affect. Because it's not just the person that you're attacking the whole family. If you shoot somebody or kill somebody, it's not just the person that's being shot that you affect. It's the whole family. Let's be careful about what we do, and let's have better judgment. This is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. You have yourself a wonderful and blessed day.